Hold on. Good. Thank you for letting me know. Start. Hi, YouTube. You didn't miss much. I just forgot to re-enable the auto start after yesterday's stream. We're just getting set up. I'm about to catch you up on what we're not doing today. So that'll make sense. Have it soon. It's hot. Yes, it is ridiculous. Okay, so let me show you what I'm thinking of for working on this. So last we looked at this, you have to dismantle this entire thing. I'm not doing that right now because there is a flex ribbon that goes up to these buttons and then they're membranes and it goes down here and it's a whole really fragile thing. But the ball is removable. There are 3 bolts that hold it in down there, and this stem has snapped off. It's loose and it needs to be re-adhered, and it is kind of possible to do that. Which model is this? It is a 2003C. There we go. 2003C. Critically, and the reason I really like this one, it is actual Spaceball brand. It's not HP, it's not IBM, it's not SGI, it's actual Spaceball. So here's the thing, okay? So I can get that out, the ball, and then I can re-glue the base, but how do I support it? Well, I bought a vise. You're like, you might think you already had a vise. I didn't have a vise like this. This is a ball vise. Whoa. That part actually doesn't help. I don't care about that one at all. As a matter of fact, I wish it didn't have that, but there are only so many options. Yeah, I know. I keep trying to call it a space tech so I can avoid all the Spaceball jokes constantly. I like Spaceball, don't get me wrong. It's just I don't want that to be the only thing that gets talked about whenever I bring this up. So, here's where this gets really interesting. So the jaws on this are threaded, and I suspect I'm going to want these ones. And I can put in these inserts. These are not quite as proud of the jaws as I was hoping, but this might still work. So you thread these on, and this gives you multiple points of contact on each side. And then ideally, this will go wide enough. Wow, I'm so glad I went for the biggest possible jaw vise I could. Ideally here, I'm going to be able to, yes, put the vise around the ball to hold it. Yeah, that will work. So when I remove it, I'll be able to clamp the ball in this to hold it in place. So that will give me a really good, solid way to hold it. Yeah, how do you attach a 3D printed spacer to a vise? So this is the vise I had. It's literally flat squares. So if the answer was buy a different vise to mount that to, I did. I bought this one. And also it came with the adapters I needed already. Because that's the thing. You have a yeah, this one is a little uncommon. It's earlier. Yeah. And the mechanisms are extremely unique for each one. So so yeah, I'm excited to have this clamp to use for this. This vise is really weird though. It's very strange. Just use bolts to push it at what? It sounds like you're doing a lot of work. Or wanting to do a lot of work. I don't think I have another sphere type thing, but just for kicks, let's see what else we could clamp in the vise just to get an idea. So like, let's say that's a little big. There's got to be something here that would be like, oh, it'd be nice if I could do, well, maybe not like I actually need to. Here's a weird example of something. So a mouse, okay? Let's say I really wanted to go to town cleaning this mouse. All right, I could friction hold the ball up there, open this up, and then because it has the multiple points, I can find a spot here where it can actually grab onto this, and it's actually pretty darn sturdy. So the key to finding a vise like this was actually looking for an engraving vise, because, and that's why it has the weird ball mount, so that you can get it resting at a point where you could actually engrave on it. So first item, fit if you widen the dowels. I'm not sure what you mean. He worked out a way to keep the broken parts from also gluing to the inside of the ball, so it doesn't rotate that much. The degree of movement on the ball from the inner and outer part is very minor. Think of it more like a ThinkPad thing, where it just uses load cells, so you're not really moving it so much. But yeah, that's an example of the kind of weird non-uniform thing, like, that's actually really solid, that you can put in this. And there's zero damage because these have a PVC tube over them to add some compressibility. It's not like a lot. It could be better. So that's how I'm going to hold the ball to actually do the glue. So I think that'll work and will be nice. Also, can act as a vertical vise, which is going to be kind of cool. I'm sure I'll be able to think of some use cases for that. It's just weird enough that I think it's actually kind of like not a bad purchase. So I didn't mind it. It was a little expensive, but not horrific. Missed that? Yeah. So if I show you here a little bit more close up, there's a PVC sleeve over it. You actually have to add those on yourself. I just did that before stream. So yeah, so there's that. So that's one element of it, all right, of the repair. So that's how I'm going to secure the ball. That's just, you know, so we can get started working on it. Well, I can whenever I go to attempt this. I have no idea when. Second thing, how do I glue it? So I bought hopefully resealable super glue there, that's like actually good super glue, and it comes with, for some reason, like a little mini M&M's tube of accessories. That's some strong tape. Good grief. Are they trying to sell me tape too? There we go. All right. So the key with this is that it comes with these little needle applicator tips that you can put on the glue, and my hope is that will be enough to allow me to get the super glue down into the cracks, even though it's like a really large bottle. I bought aquarium airline tubing because that's just one of those tools that my brain goes to when it's like, oh, I need to move a fluid from one place to another, and then I get it, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's way too big. So I kind of regret buying this. This was completely unnecessary, because I thought, whoa, well, what if this doesn't reach into where I need? Then I could put that over this, but no, that's way too big. It would be the amount of super glue it would take to get through the tube there. That was not, no. So anyway, that's part one of the repair. Okay, this is not actually how I'm going to repair it. So my goal is get the crack aligned, super glue it into place. That's drying session 1. All right, then I'm going to mix up some epoxy, and then I'm going to use these. So I actually was kind of glad to buy more of these, because I think I only had one left, and I have it full of baking soda. So these are the syringes that your dentist gives you when you have like a tooth extraction or something. So this is the kind that's straight, which probably is not the one I would use for this. But then these are the weird ones that are curved, which would work for getting down into there. And my goal is to take a 2-part epoxy, squeeze it down into there, then use coffee stirrers, which you can only get in quantities of like 1,000. So I take a coffee stirrer. I only need one, so Maybe I should have just gone to Starbucks and stolen one. I don't know. So then that will allow me to mix the epoxy down in there, and then I'll be able to apply it directly. I really should have just stolen a coffee store. Why didn't I think of that until just now? Oh well. Maybe not stolen. I mean, I could have bought it. You know what's sad, actually? If I'd gone to Starbucks and bought a coffee, it would have cost as much as this whole thing did. Because this was so cheap that it just, like, it was a rounding error. There, whatever. Anyway. Industrial society is something. Good luck mixing epoxy with that noodle. Oh, no. It's a rigid straw. So it, well, okay, maybe, yeah, I think it'll work. I'm not that concerned. Won't the syringe melt? Well, that's why I bought a lot of them, because I don't care. I don't know, why would it melt? It's not hot glue. Found exactly one Spaceball 2003 on eBay. Yeah, that's why we're repairing it. Trust me, I know. So that's my thought of how to do this. If I recall, the epoxy reaction is exothermic. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. It's not like I'm putting a ton of epoxy. I'm not filling the tube with epoxy. I don't need that much. Yeah, if it's gonna melt the plastic, then this thing's screwed. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Check those aerosol spray cans for oil. You'll never not have the straw. Oh, yeah, I could have, but I'm gonna destroy both the syringe and the straw. So, especially with the spray oil thing, I probably want to be able to reuse that. Anyway, that's the plan. So, super glue the cracks to hold it in place, and then use the epoxy with the syringe to build up the material around it for the actual repair. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'll probably isopropanol clean it in between. So yeah, you have 1,000 servers, but only one Spaceball. Yeah. All right, so that's the whole spiel of how that's gonna work, and kind of why I'm not gonna do it on stream, because it is not gonna make sense to do it on stream. This won't fit in the box with these on. It's really annoying. Eventually, I'm just gonna leave it out of the box, but then I'm gonna lose parts. Because the other thing it comes with, which is kind of nice, because this has the textured jaws, let's say, is that it comes with rubber covers for the jaws as well, if you want to put something in those. But what I'll probably do is just lose those and then never see them again, and then use the other jaws, which are flat. Because I have a feeling there's no way this is going to keep going back in the box. I don't know. All right. So that's all the plans. All right, let's put the Spaceball away safely so it doesn't get more damage. By the way, I found footage of this working. The right was actually was worse than I remember when I first got it. So it was always bad. I just didn't help with how I stored it. All right, Real Solution Fractal Vise. So the only ones on Amazon are 50 bucks and are about that tall, so they aren't gonna work. And then the expensive ones are very, 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 very expensive. Ah, sorry. Okay. So, here's the deal for what we're actually going to do today. Because I didn't realize that I shouldn't do the gluing for the Spaceball until like right when I got into the office, kind of didn't have any backup. So, thank you. I love the purple belt. It's excellent. Anyway, here's a complete tangent. So, I got my hands on PC Paintbrush 4. This is the drawing program we've been using on the PS2, except it's not. It comes with 5¼ inch and 3½ inch discs, and it has a manual, and inside the manual, on page 139, there are a list of supported display adapters, and on that list, the 8514 is not included because I didn't want Paintbrush 4, I wanted Paintbrush 4 Plus, but the only copies of Paintbrush 4 Plus on eBay are in Canada and cost more to ship here than the actual items do. So I'm so disappointed. This doesn't actually work. I think somebody may accidentally drop some copies of the Paintbrush 4 floppies in this. And then, aw shucks darn, I guess I'll just be able to use those instead. Because, ugh. Also, I'll show this off. Boom, Entertainment Pack 4. Wow, the color on the camera really goes nuclear with that. It's pretty nuclear in person, too. So. Oh, you know what we could do before we start other filming, other project. Here, let's try one thing really quick. So. This is kind of weird because I've never had this before, but I now do. So this is one of the lights that I was waiting for to be delivered yesterday at home. They didn't get delivered until 5 p.m., which was, you know, annoying, but whatevs. Now, here's the thing. The idea that I had was to get rid of the LED panels up here and then put soft boxes with this pointing down. But the problem is that the soft boxes would be way too big. There's just not enough space. It's about 20 inches of clearance that I have here from where my hand is right now to the ceiling. There is straight up not enough room. So that's not going to work. The only other option is to bounce the light off of the ceiling, but I'm not sure that that's going to work. So let's see if it does. So I'm going to turn off the inner lights, and then let's see what does one here do. Not a lot when the power strip it's plugged into is turned off.
Digital Sage subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 37 months, currently on a 10-month streak. End of line.
Digital Ice Age, thank you for the tier 1 sub there, and for 37 months. I appreciate that. Okay. I mean, it's not amazing. And that's just one. I have two of them. The downside is that I then have to keep these like free floating. I kind of leave them wired in over there. I don't really have them like permanently set up. That is maximum brightness as well. There is one other thing that I can do. I cannot look at it as I do this, but I can pull the shroud off, and that makes a big difference. But you'll notice how bright that is. Meow. Oh my gosh, that's so hot. Yeah, I am not allowed to look that direction because I will go blind due to the sight line of, yeah, look at that. That's ridiculous. So normally what I do, I will run them like this, but I will raise them above my eye level so I can't get blinded like that. Or I can put that on. So I don't know. I don't think that's the answer. Because the other thing is I have to have this off frame because we can't have that like visible. So it would go, I can angle it as it bounces. The more it gets angled though, the more likely I am to get blinded by it. Wow, it's got to go so far over. No, it's just not going to work. It's not possible. Yeah. To give you an idea though, that light versus these were actually the same cost originally, and they better fit this setup. So compared to that one light, that's a very expensive light. I really don't want to get those exact lights again though. I think I'm gonna get similar LCD panels, but I'm gonna get them from a different brand. I believe these are newer. They are. I'm going to get them from a slightly more premium brand, maybe Godox or something, and just see if a better version of the same product works for longer. All right. Shields your eyes from that light, yeah. Use mirrors to reflect. That gets way, way, way too complicated. Means small, looks like small jet aircraft engine bell. Not aircraft. Oh my gosh, I am fried. Okay. The thought I have is that there could be a Sony Watchman style CRT, but light box kind of thing. So let me explain. This is a light box for the what? Stupid camera. Hold on, it's in zoom mode because it's dumb. Anyway, this is a light. Wow, it's really, really bright. This is a light box, okay? So there's fabric here. There's actually an inner fabric thing, and then there's a reflector. These are really big, okay? I was thinking if there's a light box that instead of having the camera behind the light, the camera went in through, not the camera, the light went in through the side, and then it like reflected and bounced out and in. It might work, because then it could be shallow, and then it would work going directly over this. I don't know if that exists, though. I haven't found one if it does. So that would be the closest thing to a mirror solution that I could think of. And it might, I would need to come up with some kind of diffraction pan. I don't know. Yeah, it's a difficult one. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I was considering getting bulbs for the fluorescent lights that are here, but also those are probably gonna have bad ballast. Then I have to have an electrician come in here, and there's a whole other ball of wax I don't really want to mess with. So, not sure. Because these lights, dying, not ideal. So anyway. All right, let's do software dev, I guess. One moment, I got stuff over there. I think this kind of solution, that, yeah, with the side firing reflector thing, probably. Keep it simple. Well, there is no simple. Simple would just be hire an electrician to have them put in like the brightest possible lights I could in the ceiling. But that doesn't, I don't know. There's no simple when it comes to like video lighting. So you have to have it all well considered is what I'm getting to. There's no shortcut solution. Anyway, yeah, I'm probably going to have to buy more panels like these and just go with those. I don't like that solution, but that seems to have worked okay. So, until they died. The worst part about them dying is that there is an AC vent right here, so it's not like they overheated. So, all right, let me do a little bit over here. Oh, I was accidentally running the whatever doodad stream thing, which is call it remote desktop. That's it. Oh man. Are you allowed to install lighting yourself? No. Not if I want my insurance to cover it.
CHEER 100, keep it simple. Here are they new. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. Tend to be deep because of the heat. Ooh. Yeah. That makes sense. Like I was saying when I was putting my hand over that, yeah, it gets pretty toasty. That's the other thing that kind of is surprise. I didn't cover that well about that dome around the light here. I can show you the image. Let's just go sit down. Because you know what's really cool? Sitting. All right. Oh, ooh, nice sitting. This is the good stuff. One moment, I can't see chat. I just have to click a button. There we go. Okay, so this is a light with the dome over here, and this is a light without it over here. These are set to the same intensity. The dome actually corrects the light forward really, really well. So it makes it a spot. And the non-dome doesn't make it a spot. So the fact that I'm a little concerned about what the temperature is like of the ceiling where the dome is. That's a lot of concentrated light. Here's the other problem with doing it this way too. We discovered issues with having the light reflectors get hit with the light from the base, but I don't know if that only matters when it has a teleprompter on it or not due to weird reflection nonsense. I am not sure, but I'm a little apprehensive about that now. So I put a magnifying glass on the light box pointed towards the ceiling. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to work on software, but we're going to do good thing brain work software. And by that, I mean, we're going to do HTML and CSS today. So where we left off yesterday on Media Basket, let me go ahead and get poll here. We got the software running and stupid other team members not pushing their commits in a timely fashion. Yeah. Grrr. You've seen nothing. Okay, so no module AIOSH. How is that possible? Pip install boop plus rec my. Wait, no, it's break system packages. Yeah, but I don't want to stash it because I never want it back. FF probe. Oh my gosh, so many things at once. FF probe. Is this even the right repo? I don't feel like it. FF probe, partially incompatible, most anyone who says VN owes 100 bits, just throw that out there. Okay. I think I want that stupid pipe. Why do I even have FF probe in here? Where was it? Media basket, media data. Hold on, we're just gonna kill that because we don't need that. Let's just solve the problem by not having the problem in the first place. I don't need any of that. Boom, problem solved. But, oh. Dude, how are we working on this? How are none of these packages installed? I love that there's a package called Python Magic. It is the absolute least descriptive thing of all time. It might as well just be Python module. Hey, there we go. Everything's working great. All right, anyway, that's not right. We're just gonna pretend that that's not there. Did I not commit the changes? Did I not push them? It says 18 hours ago, changed to new data model. Yeah, I mean, didn't I do some, yeah, the HTML stuff? Why is it not showing it all? Is that an old database file that needs? No, because I just deleted the entire folder. Huh. F5? Well, that's weird. Kill, restart, F5. Well, that's strange. Oh! I know exactly what happened. I was smart, stupid me. Don't you hate it when that happens? When you're all like smart and stuff? So I got rid of the part where I initialized sample to the database in the code. So there was nothing in the database for it to show. So, boom. There we go. Hey, alrighty. Problem solved. Anyway, okay. We're going to work on HTML and CSS today because there's a bit of a catch-22 that we have. So from here, I want to start putting together how the front end and the back end are going to mesh into one system. But without having the CSS set up to be able to display the data, it will look bad and it will be difficult to visualize what we're trying to do. Unlike last time, I don't want to just put off the CSS until the heat death of the universe. I want it to actually have the visual structure and layout that it's supposed to have. So we're going to make CSS a first-class priority this time. The complementary part to that, though, is that you have to have HTML to do CSS. So we're going to make some fake HTML to kind of get a feel for how we want to structure the data. And then we're going to work on the CSS in tandem with the fake HTML. That way we can see how we want to structure the data and how I want the data to look. So we're going to do a couple of things here. And with the CSS, it'll look better. HTML tables till the end of time. So we're not actually going to use HTML tables. I may use flex boxes. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, we're going to not do that. So let's actually go ahead and make a couple of database entries here. So, tongue firmly planted in cheek there by me, yeah. Well, a lot of this is currently HTML tables because it is the easy way to do that for sure. So, all right, home is the dashboard page. Maybe I should just rename this dashboard. Now we're talking. Okay, so yeah, let's mess around with some stuff. So for the database, this is the best thing about this. It'll be lightweight and fast. Yes, exactly. That's one of the reasons why I am trying to do everything in Python. Like I'm trying to use as few modules in Python as possible, and I'm trying to make it all run from the Python thing. Hello, Zolo. I am working on my own software that manages ripping CDs and floppy disks, DVDs, and all that kind of stuff, and then testing the rips and decoding them into other more useful data types after the fact. So this isn't software that does the ripping itself, but it controls the rip process. So it's more like error handling and batch processing. Okay, so I want to show maybe these, and then definitely this. Actually, not the ID. So definitely that, definitely that, maybe drive, not config. Status should be used for something else. So, all right. Let's split this and then go back to here. And then this is the queue on the side, which probably not going to use the header thing for that, so I don't know exactly how we'll want to lay that out. Actually, what I might do, we go back to web here. So data is get waiting list. That has a, well, I guess we can just go look at the code. Get waiting list. We grab the time added, the name, the media type, and the status. So we have 4 data types. This is how they get sorted. I think they're, yeah, ordered by. So we don't really need that. We have name and we have media type, and then status is always exactly the same, so it doesn't actually matter that much. So we just have name and media type. So let's make that a little bit cleaner. Let's see. So control window, header. We're not going to use that for this. Let's put this in here. And then I'm going to go ahead and rename this to Q for D in Q. And then bar is not what we want. I don't think we need a sub header thing. So let's add a UL. To make this obvious where I'm doing the wonky stuff, I'm going to go ahead and leave these flat. It's going to make my skin crawl too, don't worry. Okay. LI. So there's really only 2 things. There's going to be the name. I'm trying to think about how I want to do this. I want the kind of layout concept. I don't think I'd do it in this, in the markdown here. I want that bold first part of a list item and then the not bold second part. And I'm going to hyphenate between the type and the not type. I'm just trying to decide if I want to make this like a class or something, or a header, or just bold. Just that. I feel like, does anyone else think doing this kind of thing in HTML now is bad form? Like, I don't think I should do that. So I'm gonna put this here and then this here. And then this will be Q. And then there is no, ooh. If I pulled out the group, I could have the Q be sorted per group. That would be kind of interesting. Know why HTML is the lowest common denominator? Because it's putting style information in the HTML. The only reason this exists is to set the style. It doesn't change anything else. And that is old guard HTML from before CSS was really a thing. So that's kind of like the markdown era of HTML, as opposed to now when CSS can do, frankly, CSS can almost do some functionality stuff too. It's kind of weird. Is there supposed to be side-by-side video advertisements on YouTube? I have no idea. It was doing it in 2020, so no, I don't know. I don't like it, but we'll just run it for now. Okay, I think in theory I can, no, because I changed the other stuff. Hold on. Boom, boom. What? D is not defined. Well, oh, let's write this. Let's get rid of the subheader because we're not going to use that. F5. I said F5. Why'd you crash? Oh, because I probably quit it. F5. Blah, 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 blah. Href path. Oh, why did I leave that there? Actually, let's just get rid of the href. We don't want that at all. Hopefully this works with or without the A, because I don't actually know. F5. Hey, there we go. Not really. Inspect. List. Okay, so we got no nothing. Oh, you know what helped? If I saved that. Boom, there we go. That's okay. It's not great. All right, but this is why we're trying to do this, so I can get some stuff into here to see what we're doing. Having HTML be used times the browser handle the style marginally more reliable. Yeah. So the thing I would say is that if you're using any complex CSS, like I'm using nested CSS in this, then you're already accepting the fact that it's just not gonna, it's going to require a modern web browser. Oh, so one thing I forgot that needs to be displayed on this. We need a drive status page. Make sure Netscape Navigator wouldn't crash. Yeah, I can tell you for certain that this base CSS that I'm using and the Video Manager project do not work on vintage web browsers. I've already tried because the nested CSS breaks everything. So one thing I do want in the queue is the ability to reorder it. However, I really don't want to learn how to do drag and drops. That sounds awful. That sounds like way more work than I really want to do. I don't want to worry about that yet. We're going to have more entry points back and forth between the actual code in the database and the other aspects, so I'm not as concerned about that right now. Although, now that I say that, the order by time added is already breaking that. I'm going to put a pin in that problem. We'll come back to that later. Okay, so that'll kind of work. We can mess with that for a bit. You know what? I don't like this. I'm going to call this header. Let's see what horrible things that does. Oh, that's truly terrible. Okay. We'll fix that more later. Why does it look like that? There's clearly some CSS that is inadvertently applying to that should not. We'll fix that. All right. Now, let's work on the queue data. So, from here, I would like to get more SQL data. I'm trying to remember how this works. Can I just add jobs equal doohickey, and then that's kosher? It didn't blow up. Okay, I'll take it. Why is that? Oh, because it added one more. All right. So now I'm going to go make an SQL thing like this to retrieve the job info for anything that is not waiting. SQL select where not. It is just straight up not is used in the where do not match. Where not dude thing. Perfect. That's it. That's easy. Okay. So let's do def get q, and then it'll be in. Oh, it's the same one basically. I kind of just invert it. Okay. So where not status equal 1. All right. And we want to get a lot more information out of it with this. So we're going to get time started, time added. We'll do time end. Sure. I screwed up and copied the same thing twice. And name, media type. Data ID, we don't want. Description, where we haven't got yet. Description. Drive group. Sure, why not? I will show drive. That will make sense to do. Not config, though. We don't want that. That's too much. Okay, so we're going to grab all of that stuff. Get jobs active. Yeah. Okay. Should I make this jobs waiting? I think I should make this jobs waiting now. Jobs waiting for UI or API. What you call it? Consistency. Jobs active, web, boom. Okay. So, now we can go here. And we're going to mess with this a lot more. All right. So I do have everything in a TD over here, and it's gross. Is it this? This is doing a bad job of telling me what's what. Why is there a list? Like multiple. Oh, this is bad. It's really poorly done. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, there to there. Wait. There to this. Why are those not matching? You know what? We'll just pretend they do. Okay. I'm gonna grab this, but then we're gonna move this out. Actually, there. N4 stays there, but the li and the div move up. Let's get rid of this, and then I'm gonna get rid of this for now. Okay. That'll work. So we want d-name. That was too much. Name. And then I want the sub thing, which I think I deleted all of. So let me go over to here and grab that. Web. Templates. A reputable website that gives floppy disk image files? I'm not exactly sure what you mean. You can just look on archive.org for archives people have made. Okay, so after the header, sub, we're going to put the description here. Description. Okay. Let's see what that looks like first. I don't think I changed anything. Boom. Error. Okay. Get jobs waiting. Media job has no attribute. Get jobs waiting. Get jobs waiting. What? Get Q. Oh. Oh, I screwed that up. Hold on. Get active list. Okay, so I want that and that. Boom. Okay. Well, that's not right. Class sub P. No, that is right. Yeah, why is it not getting description? Am I not putting description none? Yeah, I was setting a description. Why is the description not getting set? All right, SQL Lite DB browser. Let me close that. Not that it really matters. Linux app image. Chuck this in here so we can check the database. Browse data, media jobs, and description is set. Okay, what am I messing up? Description. Jobs active. Description. Jobs where not order by timestamp added. You know what? None of these have a status that is not 1. This should be empty. This is plasma, yes. It's KDE. There is no other KDE that is contemporary, so they're all plasma. Yeah, okay, so I think the bigger question is, why is this returning anything at all? because I did queue instead of jobs. That's why. Jobs. And then that data doesn't exist. That's 100% of it. F5 and dead because I killed the software. That's a different folder. And boom, empty. Hold on, empty. Why are you not empty? Jobs, web, jobs. So this is the only OS I could get it to work on. I would recommend just downloading a distro that has it pre-installed, like Kubuntu or something, if you want to just have a turnkey operating system based on it. Do I clean the database every time? As you can see, it says it just added one. No. But right now, I'm just trying to figure out why the SQL query is always returning something it should not. Let's get rid of that. Because the query is select all of this nonsense from media jobs where status is not 1, but the status is 1 on all of them. So, how is it getting anything? Get jobs active. Oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. Ugh. Hey, look, it's refresh. Okay, I'm just gonna 2 enter. Oh, fine. 2 2 2 2 2 F5. No, that should work. Why does that not? Unless I have to save it? Control S? F5. There we go. Okay. Yeah, poor Diesel. There is somewhat of a reason why sometimes I like doing software on stream. All right. Trying to get me to refinance a loan I don't have. Oh gosh, I've had student loans over 20 years. I mean, Philip, fair's fair. How many people ever actually get to pay off their student loans nowadays? Okay. So, let's work on showing all the other data. I'm kind of curious because I've never done this. I don't know exactly how this is going to look. I think it's just going to be another gray line. I might want to handle this as a use case. So we got media type, description, drive groups, status. Let's say we do drive group dash drive. So drive underscore group hyphen drive. Boom. In theory, I should be able to do perfect. Okay, not assigned to a drive, and that's what null looks like. Got a job, paid my mind, off doing that completely. Doing with that, it was completely unrelated to my degree. Oh my gosh, that's awful. Man, you know how mad I would be if I had gone off and got like a proper programming degree and then stupid AI stuff just destroyed the industry. So glad I didn't. This is not what I thought this split would look like, but I really like how it looks like it's a 3D shaded divider line. So I want to make sure that I keep that. Yeah, Flare Spire, how dare you definitely be an hour and a half late to the stream. Yes, I definitely started on time. Also, Philip, that is an awesome giant grasshopper. That's super cool. Okay, like completely left field thing, 'cause I'm looking at Philip's video about, or video image about with the grasshopper in the TT Live Discord server. Does anyone else watch the General Apathy YouTube channel? I'm just like showing the image here. Because he goes to places that have like unbelievably gargantuan katydids, and I want one so bad, but I'm pretty sure they're illegal. Like, they are so ridiculously cool. Holy moly. It's like, those are the number one things that I want. Like, they're so awesome. Went on a tangent to telecommunications. That seems more robust. Yeah, Deziak, I started out by saying no Spaceball, because Spaceball stream is actually watching Glue Dry stream, I realize, which is, you know, maybe that's not more boring than watching software be written. Small one, it'll be an inch longer. Nice. Okay. So, let's not watch Glue Dry exactly. Everything that I'm pulling out of the database here is static information about the media rip that does not change as data fragments are generated. So we need to represent all of this before we have anything that shows the data fragment. So I'm going to make sure that that's split. I think the only things left, though, are the time information. Is that really... Status, I will probably indicate with a color for this. So... let me think about that. There is a way of doing, like, if statements, but it gets a little... I gotta look up that again, because I don't remember exactly how you can do the logic here. So... okay, is that the only other thing other than the timestamps? Name, header, media type, and I'm using drive group and not media type. Media type will be represented in the fragment data, so I don't really need that. So description is there. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so let's use the status to set the header information. And I'm going to cheat to figure out how to do that by looking at my existing project. So I'm curious, did I screw up and set the video manager repo to be private too? Video, because apparently I've been doing that by default without realizing it. No, that one's actually public. Why did I make all of these private? Oops. All right, web, and then probably action. No, templates, action, page. Okay, so if up, that's fine. Okay, if control if. Okay, if project video. Oh, I'm gonna have to look for Flask template statements. Flask template. All right. If I need if value, not if set. If. Okay, if users for blank and blank. If statement is compatible with Python, comparable with Python if statement in the simplest forms. You can use the test of variables defined, not empty and not false. You can use more complex expressions. Change allows basic expressions everywhere. Work very similar to Python regular expressions. Even if you're not working with Python, you should feel comfortable with it. Okay, I'm just going to try setting with static value, I guess. We'll see what happens. All right. This gets dumb here. I wish I could set a variable within this. Let's do this way. If name or status equal 2. I don't think you're going to like this. Let's be inline expression. Is there like an actual definition of how to do proper expressions in this? There's 2 options for equality. Okay, hold on. Math. Okay, so in theory, I could maybe do if double equals and it will work. Maybe this is just not, the syntax highlighting is probably just not aware of how to do this. Okay, if status, and then there's end if. And if we will do, what's this, and then this, and then where'd my end if go? There it is. Okay, if status equal to class is yellow. Hold on, actually. How do I... one moment. Class, not yellow, running. Save. Okay. I believe I only changed this, so perfect. That works. Okay. Then I can do elif, right, elif. This is 3. Is it done? One moment. Inspect. Complete. All right, and then we'll just copy all of that, and then elif 0 equal error. All right. So this should be the same. Let me make one of these 0, save, F5, boom, perfect. And I'll make this one 3. Boom. Okay, that'll work. I like it. Alrighty. Oh, Philip. Minor update on the MikroTik hardware. I had to reboot the HAP AX3 last week. For some reason, the wireless hardware just stopped entirely. I don't remember if I said that in Discord or not, but just occurred to me while you're talking about your Wi-Fi stuff. Okay. Trying to think if this is how I want to have this be shown or not. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention. I need to have drive status information on here. You guys perhaps had power blip or something? Oh, that's right, yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna now kind of fake a table full of data from a fictitious data fragment. So table, because this is the best way to display this. There's no way around it. TR. And TH. Let's go with, do I have a subheader thing? I don't think I do. I'll just do H4 down here and we'll see what happens. H4, data fragments. Okay, name. Let me go back to this. Type, actually type. That's a better way of phrasing it. Type. So there's parent ID. If I get really tricky, I could do something. Handler parent, actually that should be text, but we'll just not worry about it. Let's say origin. Origin. And then path. So in PyDiscRip, if I demonstrate that really quick, there's a solution that I'm using that I don't really like. S settings. Discrip -S settings -W. So I don't like having the giant lists in this because I'm basically recreating this. I guess I could have the file type in here too. I don't know. I don't think it's, I think this and this is redundant. Because when it comes to this stuff, I'm not sure how I want to handle that. Because do I need to print all of the file names to it? Because it makes it really difficult to scroll through this. as you go along. I think what I could do, yeah, how about this? How about I don't print file names to the dashboard page like this, but then you can click one of these and then it will open up a page where it does print all of the file names. So if you want to see the file names, you can do it that way. I think that'll make more sense. So path origin, or type origin path. That's all I will need. So tr type, optical. We're just gonna fake this. Origin. If it's null, it's just gonna be rip. Hello, Frosty Wolf. Path would be whatever drive is. And then we will have bin q, origin is optical, path is name, wherever that is, way off to the side, geez. This won't actually be generated this way, but just for right now I'm going to cheat. So name, bin q, and then wave, origin bin q, wave, and then let's assume it's a blue book and this like actually works. Origin ISO, and then there will be FLAC origin wave in FLAC, and then Z underscore files, origin, ISO, and then it will still be in the ISO folder. Okay. I don't think I changed any Python, but I did not run the program. That's not what I want. Boom. Okay. Alrighty. Ooh, this is weird looking. Okay. Yeah, CSS not working so great. Which is what I want to check here. So this is good. Okay. I am skipping an element that we have in the other one that I forgot about, because I do technically support showing an image here. I like this a lot more. I think this makes more sense. I'll CSS that up to make it look better. So I'm trying to decide if I want to have the image be above the subline. It's fairly easy, but bulky on the screen can be part of the details page. The image. So I would rather it not be. Let me see if I have a good example of why. Floppy. Of course. So the floppy stuff will show the image that is not, apparently wasn't working at this point. It will generate a flux image that shows you what the flux looked like when it ripped the disk, and then you can instantly click that to see what the flux output was, and that's really critical to know whether or not the disk was bad. So for floppy disks in particular, it's kind of critical to be able to see the flux like instantly to know. Less so for CDs, because for CDs, the best I'm probably going to do is have a photo of the label of the disc as it gets put into the changer. But on the other hand, if I'm using the CD changer, it's kind of nice to know to make sure that it didn't like accidentally grab 2 discs or something stupid like that, and then they got out of sync, or maybe, you know, it dropped the disc and then continued and then they're out of sync. So I can look at the photo of the label to see that is the exact disc that was ripped and know that this is what data was there. And then I see if the image of the disc and that don't line up. So yeah, I think there's multiple reasons for everything to do it with showing that. So I think I do want to. Yeah, it would be, I agree, it would be very bulky to have it be above. I think it should not be above. It could go to the left. Maybe it goes to the left of everything. It would be kind of huge. But I think we have a lot of horizontal space, unless I also set this up to be usable with a phone, which I am contemplating. Now there's 2 of those grasshoppers and a butterfly, so there's going to be 2 grasshoppers pretty soon. Oh, there is one thing that I will be including in this that I don't have represented here. One moment. Progress. TH progress. And then TD. Oh, I accidentally made them all headers. Oops. And then this whole complicated doodad, we'll figure that out in a moment. And then other TD. And then let me go ahead and make everything else a TD here. TH to TD, replace all. Boom. Okay. F5. So progress bar working out there. Now let's, well, it's kind of working out. Let's say we just get rid of all of that. And make sure these are correctly aligned. Boom. Okay. So I already have the CSS done for representing progress bars by setting the width here. So I could do progress 30% and then change this number to 30%. And then boom, that's already done. So as it's going through, one of the things I want it to do is update those to show the progress as it goes along. That's going to be where WebSockets comes in really handy, because it's going to be able to just rapid fire off the update information. So that's one area where this is going to blow PyDiscRip out of the water. And something I want to account for up front. Okay. All right, how do I want to work the image in? I think the image needs to be there. I think having the description, well, let me rephrase that. I think not having the headers for all of this stuff is better. I like that. Oh, we do need a... Well, actually, I was going to say we have a global progress for this, but you can't really tell. The little image to the right of everything. Well, if I make it that big, that's kind of huge. So I don't know if I want to dedicate that much space to it necessarily. Do I not have a closing LI on these? I think I don't. LI. No, I do, maybe. Yeah. Is this nesting weirdly or something? Why are these so strange? LI, control window. Yeah, they're somehow nesting. How have I screwed this up? What did I not close? That's why they look weird. Div. I have the div closed. UL. UL. Okay, where's the next one? Come in. So, blah, 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 this. Div. Table. Control window.
100. How did you mess this up? Take the easy way out. Blame chat. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. Is this PyDiscRip successor? Yes, it is. This is mostly fake. Do not think that it's this far along. I'm trying to create a demo version of what the output will look like so that I can start structuring the CSS so that we can start putting data into the database and then getting the data out to make sure that the front end is working. Because the front end and the back end are going to be completely separate from each other, and I want to make sure that I maintain that. Okay, so somehow, did I not put a... Oh, boop. Hey, all right, there we go. Well, the source code view of the page doesn't really help when I have basically the source code here yet. So I was looking at the DOM to see where it was nesting, and it was nesting in the table, which told me that I didn't close the table properly. So there we go. I don't know why this header doesn't get a fancy thing inside this when it's not inside one of itself, but I'll figure that out later. Okay. All right, so where do we add the image to this? How do I want to, maybe I change the layout of this with the image somewhere else. Do I go back to this setup where I have the image? It doesn't, yeah, to the left of this information and then have all of that there like that, but then have headers to describe it, because I was kind of trying to get away from having the headers, but you know what? Maybe I just do. I do it because it makes more sense. Yeah, so if I make everything more explicit, so we just basically reuse this layout. I think that's what we do. All right. So let's stop trying to get overly clever with this. We make another. Philip was right. It's going to be tables all the way down. We make another table. We put all of this information in that instead. So here's a question. I have the time added to the database, the time the RIP processing was actually started, and then the time the RIP processing ended. I'm wondering, I kind of want to make it a preview of the mouse over link, because the idea is it's not really meant to be interactive. It's meant to be monitored. So if I have to mouse over it, that kind of defeats the whole purpose. I do want to see the image of the disk all the time. Or more accurately, I want to see the image of the disk unprompted. Because, like, let's see, that's Quake correctly, that's Draken correctly, that was Foo Fighters correctly, that was Beck correctly. I guess this didn't desync. Neighbor's car won't start in the rest for help. Alright, go save him. Lego. But anyway, sometimes it desyncs. So it's preferable to... There's poking the sharp stick, by the way, DZX. It's preferable to make sure that I can see that the disk and the title are correct so that it didn't accidentally get, say, the wrong information. And then for floppy disks, I want to make sure that I can track and see that the flux wasn't garbage. So here's a thought that I've had that I haven't expressed. So right now I have this as an unordered list. What I'm thinking I do instead is we have the queue as a sidebar off to the side, and then I have a flex box here where these just fill in from the top going down. So the wider I make this, the more space it uses. So we could potentially see like the last 3 or 4 things all at once along the top. And then I don't have to, like, say, scroll down to see the data. So having these be smaller is actually beneficial. I might even length limit stuff like the description or the timestamps or whatever to make sure that it doesn't, like, blow out the size of everything too much. That's just... next. That's more complicated once we get the inner workings of this setup. Let me grab a disk image example to use here. Well, you know what? I don't want to deal with hosting the images yet. That's kind of a pain in the butt. Let's not mess with that yet. I'll just make it like a fixed width div or something in there. Which I should probably do anyway, because having it be moving or change size like this kind of sucks. So being fixed width makes more sense.
Says CHEER 100. I try to not to think on the weekend. It hurts and no one is paying me to do so. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. All right, let's make it a table. All right, table. Let's go over here. Let's just cheat. Inspect. I said inspect, didn't I? Hold on. Let's do it on the image. Inspect. And then... Oh... I know why. Hold on. I gotta kill the software so that it stops being able to update. Now I can inspect, and it won't be able to update this table anymore. Okay. Oh gosh, it's all complicated thing. That's a row, and then... Why you gotta be like this table? No one wants all that. That's awful. Ew. Alright, can I select multiple elements? No, that would be nice. Why would I want that? Duh. So I have to row span and call span if I do it that way. Screw it. I'll make it a table. I'll make the table just this, and then if there's an image, have it set the width. So that will squish the table data. But there could potentially be image. And I am going to grab a photo. Hold on. Let's find one. I think this one had a good image. Yeah, that one's acceptable. That was weird. My monitor just shut off while my computer's fan kicked up. Web, static, boom. Okay. IMG. One moment, I need to open base. href for static, file name, CSS. Yoink. Back to this. Image source equal this, and then static media dot JPEG, right? Web static media dot JPEG. Doesn't HTML automatically resize tables if you put in an image URL? It's not going to automatically display an image in the table if I put the image URL in there. So look at CSS grid layout on MDN. Yeah, I really don't want to. It's inside of here, it is entirely fixed. And the data within the table is going to be tabulated data. It just straight up is. Like, any other solution will not make sense. You'll see, you'll understand. It's going to look like this. There's going to be an image to the left, and then it's going to be title, data, or header, data, header, data, header, data, header, data. So that's not, it's not going to be flexible, say. I can't remember. I think image gets to be truncated like that, but maybe not. Okay. Image source. Oh, I was already setting that as a fixed size. We'll do that later. Okay. But we are going to use flex boxes to move these around in this space. So it has to be a table in there because it's tabulated data. It just straight up is. Okay. Here, and then the only reason I'm making this a table at this point, so this is a fixed height, so that I know there's space for the image, which is ridiculous. But oh well. All right, so we'll have header, description, and then data, description. So it begins. All right. Drive group. Drive group. Drive. Kill all that. I can save. We can reload that. No, we can't because it's not running. We can reload. Oh my gosh, it's so big. Why is it so blue? Hold on. Width equal 200 pix. Hey, okay, but that doesn't answer the question of why it's so blue, but we'll figure that out in a moment. Also, the width size why is it not? Oh, because that's being. Is this a block by default? I didn't even think about that. I thought images were in line. Content. Yeah, display inline, or is the table a block? Display table. Uh-oh. Table not ended properly? Let's find out. It's not that. I think it's... I bet the image is not ended properly, if anything. I don't remember. Do you have to do this instead, or images dumb like that? I don't think that's the answer. No. It doesn't require an XML type end. I'm missing an end tag. Oh my gosh, I did it again. I'm so stupid. I see what you mean now. I'm an idiot. Never. Oh my gosh. Wait, that still doesn't explain this though. What? Hold on. This. Why is it blue behind the photo? Okay. TH, TD. Those are all good. Okay. The table is now inscrutably correct. That is fine. The image, though, is generating that blue background for some reason. I don't understand. You know, let's just let's get rid of the table entirely. F5. It's still blue. Why? You know, this is blue and that's blue. Hold on. Inspect. Background color for LI header. Maybe we don't put this in the header. Perhaps that is the answer. Better. Okay, I want this next to this, though. I think this is just too wide. I don't know where the width of this is being set, though. Control window. It's not like there's a limit. Yeah, none of that has a limit. Yeah, let's try display inline block. Nope, it still hates me. Let's make sure that actually took. Display table. In case that's not an option, but I'm pretty sure you're allowed to do that. Style, display, inline block. What? Nah, why? What? That's super weird. Here's why that's weird, okay? You can set display none here, and that is acceptable. No, you can't. What? Am I crazy? Isn't that allowed? You know what? Don't listen to me. I'm dumb apparently. Okay, well there's that. This is still not. I know display. I swear you could do it. There are CSS attributes that you can put in here. So for example, I have width 200 pixel in the image right there. Width is both a CSS attribute and an HTML attribute. I thought display was one as well. I swear. Display equal none. Maybe tables are special. Hold on. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go crazy. hidden? So I can put the width attribute on table. I'm just saying, I thought the display was as well. I'm not saying that you can use any CSS attribute in an HTML tag. I'm saying that is, yeah, that is the only place. There's a really good chance, Deziak, that you cannot get the shirt from the store that I bought it from, because I think Joanne's is gone. That's where I would have bought it. So is it hidden, or is it display equals hidden? Is it you just put hidden? I swear you could do display equals none, though. Hold on. At this point, I want to know. HTML display attribute. I've Mandela affected myself. What the heck? I swear. All right, whatever. I give up. I give up. Okay. All right, well, this isn't tall enough with just those, so we still need the time started, the time added, whatever, all that fun stuff. Table needs to float around the image or vice versa. I'm not sure what you mean. If you're saying needs to be vertically aligned, yes. I have not gotten to that yet. So I'm trying currently to build some garbage HTML just to get something to work against with the CSS. So that's the current goal. So in case you missed it, .gmc. So I am starting from an existing project that I built this CSS for. This is my video importing and management archiving software. This is done. This works. This is perfect. This is great. And I've taken the CSS from this because I designed this to work as a bootstrap, a foothold to begin with on this project, but it doesn't have everything that we need. So I have to work on adapting the CSS a bit more for this specifically. Okay. Stop using AI. It's such a direct username. I kind of love that. Okay. Is there anything else that I might want here? I don't think so. I guess I could put status, like, as a hyphenated thing, dash complete, or dash running, dash error here. Was that how I did it on the other one? I probably did. I was probably smart about that. Yeah. So I think maybe we do that. Kind of my beard, but thank you. I use detail summary element. Is that an HTML element? Because I am not familiar with that one. Well, if we're going to put that in the title, it doesn't actually matter. I can do that later. Yes, sir. HTML detail element. It's a disclosure widget which adds information visible only after the widget is toggled to an open state. Wow, that is a complicated HTML element. Holy moly. Whoa. RipJS. Here's the thing. I know how to do this in CSS. We don't even need the HTML element. You just need a radio checkbox, or just a checkbox. That is possible. It's difficult, but it's possible. That's kind of sweet, though. Huh. Is this IE compatible? Well, no. But the good news is the way that this structure works, as long as IE shows generic or unknown tags, then it should just show as a paragraph tag inside of another paragraph tag. So it would display, it just wouldn't hide. Would I scroll down a tiny bit, please? What do you mean? What, like this? Okay, so that's open by default. Details open. Okay, this is kind of sweet. I was going to say, they need some examples with some CSS stuff going on. I would like to see an example where they have this full width and then they have this animate to show like a drawer pulling out. That would be cool. Yeah, I am familiar with data lists. That one's a lot older. Let's see. Firefox 4. Way older. But what's Firefox 79? That's a lot newer, yeah. Yeah, you should be able to control the styling. I just feel like having it slide out with a CSS animate would be useful. I've used data list. It's just the problem with data list, I think, yeah, so if I do chocolate, but then I want to do raisin, I guess I can. I thought it had a restriction where you couldn't type in something that wasn't there, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm clearly wrong. Unless this is Wild Slade, yeah. It is useful. It's just not super useful. I think I used that in here, gpib. How is that not what? Gpib. Web. Pretty sure I use it here, the data list. Static, HTML, setup, data list, boom. That was, so for this, I was picking capacitor voltage ratings because they're typically like 6.3, 10 volt, 16 volt, you know, these are very standard capacitor voltage ratings. So this just made that easier. You could type in a custom one, but when you click the box, instead of showing you the things that you previously had typed in, it shows you common standard E11 voltage ratings or whatever it is. Okay. Let's continue on though. So, I think that's everything I want to show here. Did I say E11? It's E12, isn't it? How have I forgotten the capacitor E series ratings? Whatever, it doesn't matter. All right. I think that's it. So I think what I'll do, just seeing the image and headers, this looks good. Yeah, I wasn't gonna do the headers here, but then I realized I wanted the image and I kind of need it. So the way that it'll work, we can start working on the CSS now. How about that? Let's actually start the CSS properly. So, and then we can do about the light hotspot in the picture. Don't worry about the picture. This is just generic garbage one. That's not a problem we're looking at solving right now. But long story short, yes, I have tried to solve it. So I put LED strips on the front of the CD robot to try and illuminate the discs with that. A mixed success, so. All right. CSS time. Boom. Okay. I want to first liberate the styling of this from being a list element. So let's do that. Miniature softbox around the drives. The problem is, though, is that the CD robot arm needs to be able to get in there. And then the webcam has to be positioned overhead. Basically, the only option I would have is having a light come in from this side, which would block my view of the monitors. But the problem with that is that the light has to be really far away or else the webcam could see it. Point at the ceiling for a bounce light. So the whole reason that this is like that is because there was a light overhead already. Softbox and camera on its own arm. Have you... You joke like, ha ha, that would be so overkill. That is literally how it's already set up. Camera arm direct for the webcam, independent lighting. The only thing, again, I could do is have a light on this side, like above this, at an angle where it won't reflect. But a moving arm, oh my gosh. Oh, you meant like another one of these or something. Oh, man. Need space. This light arm up. So the answer, oh my gosh, yeah, I don't. Yeah. Anyway, let me go back to this. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. All right, CSS time. So this is for full page. I don't want to change any of that. I will actually change at some point a select to invert this, but that's a different problem. So UL item list. Okay. So I think I want to remove basically everything that is UL here and replace it with div. Ugh. I hate making everything ever a div, but in this case, I think it's just the answer. I like providing HTML syntax when it makes sense, but this is one of the situations where I don't think it does. Okay, control window. Ooh, did I already liberate that from being a div? Oh, maybe we can just do the flexbox thing. Okay, let's do that immediately then. CSS flex box. Why does this look wrong? I've never seen this web page without Dark Reader enabled, apparently. It still doesn't look right. Maybe that's okay. Alright, whatever. LD solutions you have now, but then use... Nope, can't use them. They're blocked now. It's illegal, DZAC. Can't do that. Okay. Yeah, so we want inline flex, I believe. No. We just want just flex. Inline flex is not what we want. So let's go back to home here. Okay, so rather than UL class item list, I'm going to do div. Let's go ahead and scroll down to here as well. Div. Well, I'm just going to call this item flex. Item flex. So, item list is a thing. Okay. And then dot item flex. Display flex. And then this also becomes div and div. Okay. Let's just see what that does for giggles. F5. It breaks everything. Okay. GPIP output to control a relay box to the office lights connected. When it needs to take a photo, it kills the studio lighting. Yeah, so that is the actual problem. There's the studio light above the CD robot, and just physically there's no way there cannot be. So the problem is that the discs reflect the studio light. So that's why there is the shine. In order to do it properly, I basically just have to turn off that exact light. You know, actually, I'm thinking about this. I want to try something really quick. So I assume I am, as usual, yeah, completely blown out. All right. So what happens if I do... Oh, can I? I should be able to. There we go. This. Does that? I think that is better for the lighting. It's not good. No, it's not. I don't know. I don't think that's actually better for the webcam lighting. No, not really. I swear that the webcam is always trying to expose for the white wall over there. You know what? Maybe the answer is don't have a white wall over there. Where is it? Hold on, I might have a solution to this problem that's been driving me crazy. Okay, I don't know where the solution went. Oh well. I give up. This webcam drives me crazy. At some point, I'm just going to have to get another one of those HDMI cameras like I have at home and get a wide-angle lens to put on it. Oh well. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was converting everything to divs. And Flexbox. What's wrong with the camera again? So the problem is that when, say I lean up slightly, my face blows out. The TV is blown out.
Things that drive you crazy is a list, not a single item.
Yes. Maybe it's the shirt being dark. So if I lean down, yeah, that looks better when I lean down. So it's the shirt being black. That's what's doing it. Okay. Yeah. Camera serving a good function. Well, but it's a complicated one. The thing that really I don't like the solution to that will happen with the camera, paint wall black, I think that's actually not the answer. Because I think the more black that's in frame, yeah. So actually more black is worse. So I need to wear white shirts. That's what it comes down to. It's the black shirt that's killing me. I think it's the black shirt coupled with the dark hair. Also, yeah. Cranking up the exposure. That's the problem. Keep a navy shirt on standby. I have navy shirts. They are effectively black. There's no difference. Disable auto white balance. In theory, that sounds good. In practice, it's impossible. The settings are not kept persistent between restarts of OBS, so I can't. It will never happen. The first time Harris caused a white balance problem. It's not white balance, though. It's exposure. We are seeing an auto exposure issue. So again, the more black that's on screen, the brighter the image gets. That's what's going on. Because it's trying to make the image kind of average gray. It's not trying to change the color. And I've been trying to figure out what the solution is, and I think the solution is fixed exposure camera. And no USB webcam is ever going to do that, because they all auto-expose. Anyway, the thing I was going to say I don't like that I would probably want to do, sort of black body radiation, if I ended up getting another one of those HDMI cameras that I have, I'm going to end up plugging it into the ATEM, because then I can use the ATEM overlay control for this view instead of OBS, which will be really nice. But then I'm going to have to make my software more complicated. Although it might actually already support that, now that I think about it. As if you wear the rainbow hat and pin all your hair under it. The shirt is black. That's the bigger problem. The more I stand up or get up, the brighter the image gets, because the shirt is the real problem. My hair just also happens to be a problem. If I look to the side, it also increases the average amount of black. Bring office webcam home, home camera to the office for testing. If it works, you're done, costs you nothing. It will work. I guarantee it will work. So the home webcam is not a webcam. It's essentially a security camera that is in a webcam shell. So it looks like a webcam, but it's not. And it has full internal exposure controls, shutter speed, ISO, white balance, and HDMI out. So in order to use the cameras I use at home, I actually have HDMI capture cards for every single one of those cameras. Which is ridiculous, but it works out better than any other solution. So that's the thing, is that it's like a like a $400 solution to do it. I think the camera, or was the camera 150? It's like 150 for the camera, it's like 50 for the capture card to get one that's not garbage, and then this is the, here, hold on. Let me just bring up the camera. Amazon. HDMI camera. Why aren't 10-year-old mirrorlesses? Yeah, I don't know why they're not cheap yet. It's kind of driving me crazy. I think it's this. No, yes. Purchase another variation view item. Okay, so this is what I bought. Yeah, they were 200 bucks. Expensive. So here's the thing. You see how this has a pretty clearly removable lens? There is one that has a widescreen or wide angle lens, but I don't know if it's removable. And I swear some of the reviews claimed that the wide one is not a removable lens. So I have to buy the other one to get the narrow lens and then buy a wide lens to put on it, because the whole point is getting out of the fixed lens ecosystem. It's like a webcam on steroids now. Saves all the settings on device too. Ooh, that's nice. That's essentially what that device is, though. And I don't want to get rid of my microscope. I mean, I'm not going to use it all the time. It served its purpose for that video, but yeah. First to call color fringing? On what? That camera? Because, yeah, it's not good. I have big problems with those cameras, but they are still the best solution I've found. What I would really like is kind of what Dziak is talking about. Hold on. It's actually Panasonic. Hold on. eBay. Wide angle lens on regular optics. Oh, no. So you can actually completely remove the lens to expose the sensor. So you put an actual new lens on there. And the reason I keep saying that it's basically a security camera is it just takes C-mount security camera lenses. Now, there's some very minor distinction between, I think, CS mount and C mount, where the depth of the sensor is slightly different. But that's it. So Panasonic camcorder. So there's a reason, Dziak. I don't remember exactly which ones, but these have HDMI out and microphone in. And the benefit to that is that you can get the microphone input over HDMI to have audio in sync with your video. So if I wanted to have the mic sync to the webcam instead of like now where it is not, because that has a delay, this would allow me to fix that. Or if I wanted, yeah, it's kind of like Panasonic camcorder I have sans mic jack. Yeah, so these, all of the ones that are, as far as I can tell, HDMI and have mic in are ultra expensive still. I have not seen one sell for like less than $300. So, yeah, even though this is from like 2012.
56 R8ers from T2 SDE have joined. End of line.
T2 SDE and Raiders, hello and welcome. We are most definitely writing software, not shopping for old camcorders. Okay, this one's 2015, but the same genre goes back to 2012. But yeah, it's an 11-year-old camera and still $400 is ridiculous. 5 people have viewed it. That's just stupid. Anyway, yeah, I would love to get those because they have all kinds of lens options built in. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, I would like, those are what I wanted to get for home, but they would have cost way more than the other cameras, 3 to 4 times as much, as you saw. And then they aren't quite as ideal as far as the turn them on and then you get video setup. So yeah, refuse to depreciate in value on eBay for some stupid reason. It's been the case for years. Yeah, I think you could pay like almost MSRP for a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K on eBay still. I don't understand. Okay, we're doing CSS work. So, hello, Raiders. let me explain what it is we're actually doing. So I am working on my replacement for my disk ripping software here. This is the old version. This one is ugly and stupid, and we want to make fun of it by replacing it with a shiny new fancy one. This one is brain dead. It's not actually doing anything in the background. It's just a pretty face, but I'm trying to design the pretty face first. So when I go to add in the logic, we have accounted for everything, because this one, I added in all the logic and I never got around to the pretty face. So I know how to make the logic. This version just couldn't have the pretty face. So we're starting with the pretty face, and then I will merge in the logic from that version here. So we're working on designing the layout so we know what information we want to be able to exchange with between the front end and the back end right now. So what broke my progress bar stuff? Oh, holy moly, Control F5 finally reloaded the CSS, and now we got interesting things going on. Okay. We need to set a minimum size. If I zoom this out, does that fix? Nope, the progress bar is just screwed. Let's go look at the progress bar CSS. Something is not right. What are you telling me about eBay? You know what? I might have had 3 things delivered, actually. Yes, I did. Here's a fun thing. Now that it's at home, so Hydro Thunder, you know, arcade machines, on the monitor, there should be 2 stickers along the sides that tell you what all the controls are, to how to do, like, you know, a boost jump, something kind of really helpful. Mine are missing that because they're like extremely early. So someone finally listed some unused stickers on eBay that I was able to buy. So I'm actually going to be able to scan them and have them be reproduced to have the legends on the arcade bezels for how to do the actions. I only have 1 set, but I'm gonna make really nice high resolution scans, put them on archive.org, and then everyone will be able to reproduce them. The only other way I was gonna be able to do it was to try and buy a bezel off of eBay, and it was like a 50-50 shot whether or not they were gonna cut the bezels apart and then you couldn't use the bezel, or I would buy a whole intact bezel and then it'd cost like $50 to ship it, and then it would just get destroyed in shipping anyway. Plus it would only solve 1. So anyway, getting unused stickers that still have the flat applique on the back that I can scan, gonna be incredible. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, let's look at the progress bar code here. Control F, bar. Yeah, I'm really excited about the stickers. Okay, it's all here. Why is it getting messed up? That's strange. Remember, you have the small monitor version? Yes. The big monitor version never had the stickers around it. Hydro... Thunder, 39 inch.
YCSS stands for chaotic style subversion by your command.
Laumo, thank you for the 100 bits. Yeah, it's plastic bezel around there. Maybe that's the controls down in there that are listed, but it's completely different. Yeah. Again, I would love to have gotten one of these, but on the other hand, 2 of the normal version are better than 1 of these. So that would take up about the same amount of floor space, but this is a more convenient form factor. But yeah. You thought my monitor was bigger? No. I would never have thought my monitor was bigger than that one, for sure. No. It might have been some other context to a situation, but definitely I would not have thought that this monitor was bigger. There is also a stand-up version of this, but I believe it's not quite the same cabinet. I'm pretty sure it's the same everything else, though, electronics. There might be a size difference between those, if that's what you're thinking. Okay, you'd have to have the landlord reinforce the floor, yeah. Did the big one have working flybacks? I have seen more big ones with replaced displays than the small ones. Besides, I have flybacks. I am good. Stand-up version of racing games, those don't exist in our world. There isn't even a sit-down version of Super Sprint. Granted, Super Sprint's like the worst kind of racing game, but still, there isn't a sit-down version. All right. Why is this offset? I'm all distracted. Cleanser Sins F355 Challenge triple monitor cabinet. I didn't know it came in triple monitor. Is it 3 Naomis in network with each other? Because that would just be amazing. It probably is, actually. So why is this? Oh, it's this is a problem with the paragraph element. Is it this UL list item? Okay, so we need to set the paragraph element to have no margin in this. It is info, so we do boom. That's the problem. Okay, one problem solved in the CSS. You didn't know that's the best version? I've never actually seen an arcade version of it. Only the Dreamcast version. I think I need to change this to be like a gritty doodad. And I need this back for how to do it. Okay. Flex grow, flex wrap. That's what I want. I don't know why they have no wrap first. Like, why? I want to copy and paste this. I always want wrap to be the first one. That's my one complaint about this website. It's the dumbest complaint, but it's my one complaint. There we go. So, now, dynamically, it will change the layout of the page. Good grief, that thing is enormous. Sega really loved making giant, expensive arcade games, didn't they? Then Philip, unfortunately, no, I'm not going to accept CCTV cameras. I don't think composite is going to be better than this. Also, that's going to auto-expose as well. Union Games. Odd environment full of pitfalls. Glad I didn't have enough money to play arcades, so I don't have nostalgia for them. There were not a lot of... well, that's not... I got to go to like 3 ever in my life, and not a lot. Because home game consoles were definitely eating that market alive. The arcade games, I don't know. Arcade games are complicated. Because on the one hand, it's definitely better to own the games than basically go do one-session rentals with them. You can multiplayer those? That's insane. That one you can force exposure? Oh, that's impressive. I just noticed something on the Hydro Thunder here that I hadn't actually seen before. I don't know if all of them will be like this, or if maybe this is just this one, because it's kind of weird in the origins of it, because I'm pretty sure it was a conversion. But the T-molding on it seems like it has shrunk. And it's not covering the edges anymore. I know replacing the T-molding on arcade machines is a thing. I don't know if that would be one reason why you would do it. The other one doesn't seem to have it going on as much. Which doesn't make sense. They're not quite sequential serial numbers, but they're really close. Super easy and not expensive. Oh, I know. T-molding's very easy to get a hold of. Getting it in exactly the right color is one thing. Is that a... Would you install it with a heat gun? To get the corners right? I'm feeling like yes. Never really thought too much about that. All right, let's continue on with this. I'm liking how it's representing these independently. I would really like this to float up. Micro Center sells it on the shelf. I don't think it's blue. That is wild. Why do they sell it? Frosty. And one of them was Chuck E. Cheese. I have been to 2 real arcades, not counting pizza places that just have those games. Thankfully, those do still exist, actually. Peter Piper Pizza is the only place I have ever been able to play real H2 Overdrive. I don't know if they still have them. I should find one and offer them like $2,000 to just give it to me. I say give it to me, buy it from them, but like maybe $1,000. I don't know. They're so hard to find. I wonder if the servers are even still active. Raw Thrills is still around, but I wonder, huh? Anyway, not all of them sell the full cabinets. Most of them have smaller components. They have at times sold DIY cabinet materials, huh? Burned? Oh, that sucks. Did the arcade burn down? That is unfortunate. Oh, but when I do throw a fit about space in the van, making it more than 63 miles. Yeah, but Peter Piper Pizza is a lot closer than wherever that is. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, yours. Now that I remember yours. Yeah, okay. Deziak found a private hands H2 Overdrive that was one that already fell out of the back of a van. I can't remember. Did he actually get... I think he got the machine to boot, and then he, like, skyrocketed the price from, like, $300 to, like, $1,500. Yeah. No, that guy was... The price wasn't the only thing that was high. It was... You forgot about that? I thought that's what you were talking about. All right, let's make this left side. I don't have a standardized way of doing this. Fire and TT Live. Oh my gosh, a pier one. Whoa. Yeah, pier places always sound really cool until that inevitably happens, and then the fire department's like, sucks to suck. Here, I will see your... I played at that arcade and it burnt down, and raise you, and I ate at that restaurant and it burnt down. Actually, maybe not that one. No, it's this one. Hold on. Oh, it's the worst image ever, but whatever. I ate at this restaurant. And it burnt down. That was Ruby's in San Diego. or Oceanside, more specifically. They did admittedly rebuild the pier. I haven't kept track of the other one because I've only eaten there like 3 times. I didn't live there. It's just a place I visited. Well, I have no idea. Home. Okay. All right. Ruse and Seal Beach also burned down too. Oh my gosh, maybe that restaurant's just cursed. On the pier. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Hold on. All right, this is one of my favorite ones. We had a restaurant that was a sizzler here, and the sizzler sizzled. They didn't bulldoze this until this year, if I remember correctly, too. It just sat around for half a decade. That was in front of Bookman's, Dziak. You've been by there. You may have seen it without even thinking about it. Anyway, my favorite thing was I never knew that building was there, even though I went to Bookman's until after it burnt down. But I didn't know that once several times back in the day. I'm not sure what you mean. You've eaten at it. Oh, okay. What I was going to say is I never knew that there was a local Sizzler, even though I'd been to Bookman's multiple times, but I knew of Sizzler because of Albuquerque. Chain link fences around the parking lot? Yes. That is why. Okay. I'm willing to hear your modern CSS recommendations for this. What would be the best way now in 2026 to have a left side navigation bar on a web page? Unfortunately, this concept has fallen out of vogue entirely in web pages, but if this was 1996, I would do it as a table, but that's not cool now. So had some good games on it too. Bumper cars caught fire. Oh, stupid bumper cars. Use 2 columns, but I don't want a table. I know there's got to be a better option than a table. It might just be the flex box, and then I put the flex box in a flex box. I don't know. In 1996, every layout was a table. I know. So I don't know, should I just do a table here? Because it's only 2 columns. It's the left side for the nav, and then the middle for the content. And there's no situation where I'm ever going to change that. I will have the content shrink, and then this do that, where it moves over before I do anything else. It will never get narrower than that. So there will always be left side. So should I just use a table? You want something worse than a table? Use frames. Okay, that's fair. That was the truly horrible way of doing it, where you felt really smart as a developer, and then some poor sod had a frame that didn't render correctly on their browser. Then they'd have the scroll bars blocking like half the topic or half the content. Think tables aren't that responsive? Well, so to GMC, so I put this in a flex box. So we have a flex box now where these will automatically align correctly. But I'm trying to determine what's the best way to have this flex box and my left side panel next to each other permanently. Because I don't want this to move around with the flex elements. This just always needs to be on the left. It does need to float up, clear left, whatever it's going to take to get up there. But I'm trying to figure out, should I make another div that's another float, or not a float, a flex, and then put them next to each other, but then this box could potentially end up under this, or should I just make it a table? with one row with 2 columns. Silverlight web pages. Those were the bane of Netflix users on Linux. I think I got it working once, and then I realized, actually, I don't care. Probably nested flexion while this is good CSS. So instead of writing good CSS, would you just use a table? Just get Bootstrap and be on with it. Nah, I think I'm good. Table nav HTML nav element is for. Well, in fairness, it's not actually going to be a navigation box. This is the navigation up here. This is just going to be a list of the items on the left, but it's permanent. It's kind of like one of those left side navs for within a page. That's why I'm calling it that. But it's actually just going to be a list on the left. I don't know, I think I'm going to end up going table. I'm not hearing anything else that's making me think I should do anything different. I'm surprised the table is the solution, but it is robust. Okay. All right. Table data. Use grid. I don't know what grid is. The GMC was recommending that. CSS grid. What's the difference between this? Divs inside divs? So that doesn't solve anything unless I make them inline divs. Okay, CSS grid. Two-dimensional grid-based layout system compared to web layout system of the past. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So what's the difference between a grid and a no-wrap flexbox? This is just terminology, and it's not that useful. I wonder if these are using detail. Hold on. Oh my gosh, they are using summary detail. Actual professional developer tip, just Google how to make nav bar on the left, but it's not a nav bar. I was just trying to like get a feel for what people would by gut do. All right. I think I'm just going to do tables. Yeah, it is fairly similar to what you're doing there. Got moderated for suggesting iframes. Good. Grid are 2 dimensions. Flexbox is 1 dimension. I don't need 2 dimensions. So grid item. Okay. Oh, that is weird. Wait, so you set... Wait, how do you set a... Okay, I'll look at this, see if maybe MDM explains this better. Grid layout in action. Oh, that's awful. That's a lot of stuff that doesn't show me anything. Okay, a bunch of divs. All right, and then where's... I want to look at Well, kind of all of them. So 1, grid column 1 through 3, grid row 1. 2, 2 through 4, 1 through 3. Wait, row? How is this not 1 to 2? Two to 5. Do they have 2 rows in here? So 6 is on row 4, but this one reaches to row 5. And this one reaches to row 3. So 1 to... Is it like you go over by 1? This is weird. I don't like this. So if I make this 2, or 1. Okay. And if I make it 2, it doesn't do anything. Why do I have to make it that? I'm gonna do tables. Wait. There's one. The benefit is automatic widths. Unless I just get that for free with tables anyway. Actually, I'm getting that for free with tables anyway. Screw it. We're just sticking with tables. All right. Tables it is. I think for a different application that would work, but not for this one. I'd suggest you use Flexbox. I already know Flexbox. I guess, but... I suppose the main benefit is that we eliminate technically 2 elements. I'm curious. Are they actually showing they are adding the T-body? So that's something that you like can always skip. Honestly, I can't even remember why you would even use T-body. Is it if you're adding captions or something? That's the. I think you can do a table header and table captions above and below it, and that's why I use T-body. So technically, we would eliminate 2 elements by using Flexbox. So yeah, let's just do it. Screw it. Let's do it. Div, content, T-head and T-foot. Yeah. So I think those were where you put the header and caption. Tables are weird. Maybe it is better to get rid of them. Okay. Div. That was TD. Boom. We don't need this. We can make this a standalone div element now. I think. I can add 2 classes to this. Let's go with, what does content get me? I forget what content does here. Content. Content, header, nav. That's it. We're not even using that. So that will change nothing. Wait, what? Hold on. ID? Oh, this isn't even active. Get that out of here. All right. Class. Layout. Grid. Class. Layout. Left. Sidebar. And then layout. Middle. You know, center's a easier word. Center. Expand. Okay. And then I need to replace the table with that. Get rid of those. All right. This will no longer work. Closing quotes in the div statement. Who wants to close quotes? Didn't I? Here? Pretty sure I did. Oh, right there I did not. Good catch. F5. Okay. All right. Let's do layout. Yay, layout. Woo! Dot layout grid is display flex. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do no wrap. Gross. Wrap. No wrap. Okay. Then we will do layout grid dot layout. I'm gonna make it direct descendant. This left sidebar. Actually, it won't matter. We'll just make it sidebar. Doesn't matter if it's left or right. Okay, let me bring up the Flexbox stuff. Come remember the class name quickly, you know. It's fine. I appreciate you catching it though. Okay, this defines the ability to flex item to grow. If necessary, I want it to not grow. Laid out in source order. I do want source order. Okay, properties of the children. Alrighty, grow. Defines the ability to flex rows and remaining space to continue to be distributed equally on all children. A value 2, which will take out twice as much. Okay, so we want flex grow 0 on the left bar. Flex grow 0, and then center. What is it, center expand or some nonsense? Center expand will be 1. F5, still not working. Control F5, there we go. Okay. Then we want flex padding. So somewhere around here, there will be some kind of padding thing. Container, justify, no. Wait, is justify it? Space evenly is not really what I want. Space between items are evenly distributed on the line. No, just give me the padding. Where is it? Align. Default's good. This is it. Okay. Gap. Row X. I'm going to define it as XY gap. Okay. I don't like PX, actually, so I'm going to do it as 1 EM. And 1 EM for now. F5. Control F5. Did not work in the slightest. There we go. Control F5. Okay. So because there is nothing to the left and right, it doesn't get anything else. That's good right there. Okay, I think that works. All fancy, modern-like. Okay. So let's look at making this not garbage now, the actual thing that is the queue. HTML. I would like to point out, other than renaming a function, we have not done any Python today, which is kind of wild with how this works. Oh, I think we changed some header, some table stuff that we extract. Yeah, that was that too. We added one function. Very minor though. All right, that'll work. We'll go with that. Okay, so li header and that. Okay, so item list. I don't want this to be an item list. That is not the play. I don't think. Not sure it needs to be anything else, actually. Hold on. Let's just do this. Ooh, that's awful. That's because header is throwing this off. I mean, if I make it this, then it will be exactly what I want. Why is it wrapping? So if I get rid of this entirely, will it not wrap? Is it because it's 2 elements, or is it just wrapping the text? Why is it not expanding to the full width? If I make this 1 letter, it's not going to get like even smaller, is it? No. Let me make sure there's not a like layout issue. Li, okay. Do I have something in here where it's like telling it to wrap LIs or something? Margin 0. Like, do I have a size? Something? Item list, but that's direct, so that shouldn't apply. Yeah, what CSS is being applied, actually? None. How? Why is it not? Use Unicode characters and icon on the left. I guess I don't really want to. I'm not a big emoji person. Additionally, I would say it's fairly rare that you would be mixing media types that you're ripping. I don't know. I'll keep it in mind. If it gets to the point where it's like it's so easy and done that I'm like, what are the like little tiny features I could add on? And someone recommends that again, I might consider it. I don't know. Not gonna sweat it right now. Additionally, we're very far away from the logic that would allow that to even happen. 8 pixel GIF like a normal person. Do I need this to have... Why is it squishing? Does the UL have any set? No. The div has nothing. This has some, but none of that should be making it wrap more. Okay, so this is saying content size, flexibility, item was set to shrink. Okay, so that's what's happening. Okay, so if I make this 1, then it will be the size it wants to be, and that, nope. Is it because this wants to be unlimited size? I'm not aware of the x86 emulator written in CSS, but that's not the kind of thing that I would really care about anyway. No, Digital Ice Age, I'm fine with can it run Doom? Well, no. No. Never mind. It's can it run Crisis. That's, yeah, I'm sorry. This is... Blech. I'm not fine with can it run Doom. I forgot the full context. I don't understand why this is wrapping. It's killing me. What if I get rid of this div entirely? You got all the space for yourself. There you go. Have a ball. Okay, then it works correctly. Setting flex shrink explicitly. I don't remember flex shrink. Let me go look at that. Shrink. Flex shrink defines the ability to shrink if necessary. That is terrible documentation. I know this is not like the MDN or whatever, but that's pretty bad. Okay. Flex shrink. Default was 1? So let's try 0, see what that looks like. Ah, there we go. Okay. Blech. I will fix with the element itself later. So for now, that'll work. Matter of fact, I could just put in like one really long name, and then we can do it that way. This is a name that is too long. Don't do this. It is, actually, this is way too long. Hold on. Would be a long file name. Maybe an album name. I'm gonna make it a hyphen. Commas and file names drive me crazy. Okay, let me restart the software. Boop. Boop. Okay. Bingo. Oh my gosh, it's awful. If you try to rip any meatloaf, yeah, exactly. Okay. So we'll limit this. Maybe I just explicitly set the width. Do I even need the flex shrink if I explicitly set the width? Width. Dash max. Let's try this. Or is it max dash width? CSS, man. Just not even once. Max dash. Not AMX. Max dash width. Let's try 50 PX. And I'm going to do EM. 25 EM. Okay. That's a little too much still. So 15. That'll work. Okay, and then I will have controls on there. Okay, that's good. Now I am thinking perhaps the type should be first. Because that will be fixed width, and then it'll be the same. So this is why we're doing this. Media type. Name. Boom. That'll work. Okay. Oh, I'm liking this. This is coming along. Okay, let's mess with the CSS inside some more now. So I feel like it's such a hack to just keep nesting more and more flex boxes. But I just want to use another flex box for the image in the table. The table's always going to be a table. I just really, really, really don't want to do a row span because it's so awful. Like, I would rather nest it in a flex box than do a row span. I hate row span. It's such a pain. Please, just one more flex box. I know, right? Okay, this is not in the header. You know. Hold on. Wait a minute. If I'm smart about this, okay, I'm going to add a second class to this. Q list. This is more bespoke. So generally, I'm trying to make this. You know what? Let's actually not do that. I'll do this and then block header. Wait, no, that's not where I want it. Base. Wait a minute. Block head. Style. I have my reasons for committing this crime, don't worry. Style, Q list. And then I'm gonna move wherever it was, this there. Boom. I'm trying to, have we broken it yet? Actually, it's looking pretty good. Look at that. Keep in mind, there is no actual logic here. This is all statically rendered stuff. So, but it's coming along. Anyway, the style sheet is supposed to be global. So if there's something that needs to be set for one page, like the width of this, I would rather do it in the HTML here so that it is with the layout or the definition. So I'm going to do that. And then we have that. And then we can reuse this layout without having to redefine it for the inner structure because it's the exact same thing. It's a sidebar and then an expanding middle part. So why not? Control F5, no change. So our nested copy paste will be helpful. Cut first, paste second, paste first, paste. What? You want a copy paste stack? That actually does sound kind of awesome. There are times where I would use a copy paste stack. Like maybe you could do Alt C, Alt V. It is where you can cheat on Linux because I can select this, copy, select this, then middle click over here and then paste that to have two different things. But you know, that's like that's a very niche thing. Anyway, let's do this layout. So we're going to do boom. And then instead of having the class be on that, we're just going to put it on the image. Boom. And then it can keep its width over there. That's fine. And then we'll have the table have the class of center expand whatever thing. And then I've only added one single div to this. And it's now beautiful, and there's birds singing, and the world is happy, and all that fun stuff. Boom. Unfortunately, Wayland breaks middle click copy paste. I hate it. So this confuses me. Okay, just very minor thing. Okay, I was watching the LTT video where they were doing their wrap up of like using Linux for I think it was a little more than a month actually, and they were saying that middle click doesn't work in some of their applications, and I have literally never experienced middle click not working in an application where I expected it to. There was a problem that Luke had, and it just confused me to no end. So I don't know what nonsense he had going on. Technically, he was using Pipewire, or no, Wayland. So maybe that is it, because he had Pipewire stuff going on with OBS, which I agree is really frustrating. I have that happen on the streaming computer. Pipewire, though, is what causes that, and that's super dumb. I hate Pipewire. That was just not necessary. But anyway, so yeah, I've never seen middle click not work. That's heard. There's middle click paste now. You hate middle click paste? I gotta be honest, I don't like it, but I'm glad I know about it. The copy function is broken. Yeah, so for what they were describing was that the middle click was just like not bindable. It wasn't even usable. So, isn't Pipewire audio? That's the neat part. No, it's way too much, because I'm gonna speculate something. Who made Pipewire? Okay, handling audio created by Tim Tamans, or oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Wim Tamans at Red Hat aims to unify. Okay, now, are they involved in System D? No, okay, because it seemed like one of those situations where what if thing could also eat all the other features? You're thinking of the other one? No, I wasn't thinking of anyone else. I was trying to think if they were coming from the Pulse Audio. What? Hold on. You're not talking about me, I assume. Pipewire, yeah. Okay. Anyway, it seems very System D. I like System D, actually. I think System D is too hated. But anyway. Oh, System D was made by... Okay, that's who you're saying. Okay. Wait, Okay, anyway. Pipewire disk formatter, yeah. Just works on my PC. Yeah, sure. But yeah, that's my complaints. Pipewire. All right. I want these headers to not be centered, but I want these headers to be centered. So, here is an interesting CSS dilemma. How can I not center this one, but center this one? Because those are both the first element in the first row of the table without adding a class. Is that possible through selector shenanigans? Because there might be some CSS stupidity that I can do where I select this TH only if it's not immediately followed by another TH, or the CSS road madness lies. Yes. Wrap the second table's row in a T head. First row in a T head. I've never thought about doing that. So, table, and then just straight up that. I suppose that should be legal. Why is the whole thing in the T head? Did I miss the... I'm an idiot. There we go. That feels wrong, but I guess. Okay. Now, do I have a TH in here somewhere? Control TH. No. Okay, so is it the CSS default to center justify these, I'm guessing? So LP seam, I don't actually have any computers that I do any direct input on that are running Wayland currently. The stream PC is the only computer I have that's running Wayland. And the only reason it's running Wayland is because it's a touchscreen. Maybe my Microsoft Surfaces too, although I doubt it, because it's running the Surface kernel. So that one was old and weird, but center is default. Okay, that's good to know. I somehow have never really thought about that. Okay. Kind of regret the way that this is set up, but I'll figure that out more later. So control window. Okay. A table that is a descendant of this. I want T head, not thread, T head. Nope, it just looks like that. It looks like feed, sure. Feed, TH, all right. Text, align, left. Wait, no, that one's center. Hold on. Center words. Okay. And then TR left. Nope. TR. There we go. Oh, I hate it. It's perfect. I'm kind of wondering, right? Do we do that? I don't know which one I like more. I think we go with this. It fills in the box a little nicer. Okay, we'll go with that. TH replaces TD. Oh, yeah. No, you're fine. Well, you had the good the T head idea. I I didn't want to add any elements, but that actually kind of makes sense. So reason it starts with faster, slide down roads, left is best. Okay, I think I see what you mean. The uppercase thing I don't get, but when you want to just read those and then move to the right, yeah, I suppose that makes sense. I was this close to not even having headers here, though, because that's so much redundant information. It's going to be printed in every single one of these. But it makes it bigger to not seem as dumb for having the image next to it. So, there's an additional benefit, actually, to having these in every single one of these. While I'm at this, let me grab the gap and then flex list, item flex, gap, that. There we go. If I wanted to, say, screenshot just this element to send like, hey, I archived it, here's the results, having this information in here makes it easier to understand for other people. So there is a benefit to having all of that in there, I suppose. That's not a bad deal, DZAC. I don't know if I want a Virtual Boy. Let me rephrase that. I don't know if I want to have to pay for Virtual Boy stuff after that. Oh my gosh, we only have 6 minutes left? I was in the groove here. Okay, hold on. I want to go to CapsWiki. CapsWiki. Random page, not recent change. Random page. Go. Okay. Inspect. TR. Nth child, N plus 2.
For use at CHEER 100 you were in the groove here. Shall be CED. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. Nice random page. What was it? Did you make this one or something? Let's see. History. No. I don't know. I just wanted the CSS for this nonsense. And then I'm even going to take... where is it? Where is it? Or is it this one? Oh, it's the row. This. And then I'm just adding like the tiniest little bit of, or is it this one? N plus 2. Oh, I have it manually set? Oh, screw that. Background dash color RGBA. That's right, I'm an animal. 0.2. Boom. Control F5. Oh, that's way too much. That's horrible. Hold on. If I do this, 2N, bingo. Okay. And then 0.1. Boom. Okay, that I like. Just like 8-bit stuff? Ah, okay. Great artists steal from themselves. That was me. I made that. Okay, but I want headers to be different. So, table, TH. All right, this is when we get into the fun colors. So we're gonna do one of them blue colors, RGB, yoink. Just TH. And then color white. This is not low enough. So let's go with 336. That's really, 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 really dark. Maybe I don't want that. Hold on. Maybe that was the play, and then we just do color black still. Actually, you know what? That's better. Okay. So it would be cool if it wasn't the same color as the progress bar, though. So perhaps we bring it down by 2 steps. So E, F, D, and then AA. Okay. Now I want to get rid of the table spacing. See, what the heck noise was that? Oh, a calendar noise. Didn't even know that. Font Family Comic Sans. CSS table. No space between cells. Table border spacing. I don't know. Table border spacing 0px. Boom. That's what I want. Okay. Now, I wouldn't mind some padding in the cells. So TH, TD, padding 0.25 EM. That's way too much. 125 EM. There we go. There we are. Okay. It's not gorgeous, but it'll work for now. That gets us content displayed on the web page in a usable way. So I think we'll go with that as our layout and our way of representing this for now. Okay, I kind of hate this. I don't like this. I gotta fix this. F. Usually color combination would be utterly illegible on a composite CRT. Kind of looks like it is, though. Why did the light just died in here? Looks very 2004. Thank you. I appreciate that. What would this look like? Just barely off blue. Ooh, that's kind of nice. I don't know. Maybe. AAG is about right, yeah. I'll leave it at that for now. Maybe the progress bar being the same color is fine. Maybe I could change the progress bar to be something else later. Maybe the progress bar could change color and it's green. Wait, what if we made the progress bar green? It hadn't even occurred to me. Progress bar RGB. Boom. Oh, that's awful. I love it. Oh, it's revolting. That color should not exist. How? It's beautiful. It's like even more green than green somehow. It's offensive to the visual senses. That's the worst progress bar of all time. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Could change color depending on the progress. It could, yes. We already have the status headers that are going to indicate that. So this would be an errored one. This is in progress, and then we have complete down here. Blue and green should never be seen in the same space together. Excuse me, but Windows XP begs to differ. with walls that color. Oh my gosh. All right, well, we're gonna leave it that way, obviously. So that'll work. All right, it's time to commit all of the changes because we've already committed all of the crimes. So, git status. I think I will add this just for demonstration purposes. Git add. I will delete it later. Git commit -am CSS and layout work for DB data. All right, git push. Not that. Push. Boom. There we go. All right. Can smell the honeydew off those progress bars. Oh, man. You know, my favorite part about the progress bars is that I have no idea how I'm going to implement them. How do you know when you're done ripping a CD? The answer is you don't. I could maybe have like a rough guess for like I have no clue how I'm gonna do progress bars for any of that stuff. Like the FLAC conversion is the only thing. I mean, in theory, for how many waves we can get out of the bin queue by looking at the queue sheet and then seeing like, oh, I pulled out like 3 of them so far, but I'm not kidding. It takes like 5 seconds to extract all of the waves from a bin queue. So the progress bar, not necessary. Estimate the max track length. Yeah, but every CD does not fill it in. Additionally, we're reading with redumper, which just dumps as scrambled data and then exports the bin queue from the scrambled data. So we can't actually know how big the disk is. And we can't look at the data and make an assumption. I mean, I guess if we took the CD info output and took the MSF size of all of the tracks, we might be able to roughly estimate the size that the scramble file would be. And then we could have an async task run in the background that checks how big the scramble file is. But I don't know. So I'm not sure how we want to do that. But it's going to be interesting. So redumper sounds really great and useful. It is. It is really great and useful. It just isn't designed for being wrapped with a web interface that has a progress bar. So, there's a thing I want to do. You know what? We'll make clicking the progress bar do this. I want the ability, hold on, I want this so bad, I'm going to go to the page and I'm going to make an issue for it. I want new item, clicking data fragment process for log. Clicking on the progress bar for a data fragment should display the log files associated with the wrapped command. So I log the outputs of, what do you mean? Man, this person really sucks at running a Git server, I guess. Why can't I can't even create the issue now? What? Hold on, Control F5. Who's DDoSing my Git server? A spinner that gets replaced with a check mark when it's done? I mean, I could actually do that for tasks where it's not possible to determine what the speed or the length is. I was thinking actually of having it be the Windows 98 thing at the bottom of the boot screen. If it is a task that we don't have a duration thing. But anyway, I'd like to be able to click these to get the, like let's say the redumper log. Well, that's the command that was issued. That's a different thing entirely. Let's say bchunk std out. So, well, that doesn't help either. So sometimes we get logs that aren't garbage. CD info, oh my gosh, these are all terrible. Anyway, I'd like to be able to read the logs from the web page, because if it errors like this one theoretically, hypothetically did, and it's stuck here, it'd be nice to be able to click this and see what happened. Anyway, that's it. We gotta wrap up stream, so it's time. I'm clicking the buttons. Button, output, outro. Okay. I need to remember to like wait 6 seconds after I click the outro button to say I'm clicking the outro button, because there's that much delay. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. I don't know what we're gonna do tomorrow. We'll figure it out. I actually do have an idea, but since I had an idea at the end of stream yesterday and then I immediately had to renege on that, I'm not telling you what it is. But it may or may not be this. So we'll see. That's the only thing I will say. But for now, I hope you all enjoyed this stream. If you did, you may want to follow to be notified when I go live again next. If you want to help support the channel, you can find me on Patreon or get a shirt like the ones that I would normally wear. You can't get this because Joanne's is gone. But that is it for now, and I will see you all next time. Now I count down for 5 seconds while I wait. Thank you.